I assume you're already familiar with regular expression. Even if you don't know how to write a single basic regular expression, I'm pretty sure you know at least what it is for. With that assumption, let's think of a scenario that you are in the middle of the job, you are stuck in a process, there is a special request from your client that you are supposed to do something with PowerApps that in the back of your mind, you know you should use regular expressions. Something like there is a comment field in the database, but some people have put their contact information like, I don't know, email address, and you are asked to scrap the emails every time that comment field is displayed on the screen, if there is an email inside this long field. So for that, definitely you need something like a regular expression. And in this video, I'm not going to cover the basics of the regular expression. I assume you are in the middle of the job and you want it quick. So in this quick video, I want to cover everything that you need to know to efficiently work with the regular expressions inside PowerApps. The other thing is that we are not writing regular expressions here in this video. I'm using ChatGPT. That ChatGPT 4 now is more than capable of writing regular expressions for almost everything that I throw at it. So let's get into it because I know you're busy, you have a job to deliver, so let's get into it. Before we start, this video has two parts. Part one is the foundation, so I'm going to cover the basics of regular expressions. This is not a video about how to write regular expressions. I'm just giving you enough information to bring in the regular expressions from other sources inside PowerApps and start using it. And you're not going to sit here and write regular expressions from scratch. But this basic is necessary. In the second part of the video, we get into the magical part of it. So we are combining the regular expression functions with PowerApps table functions and string functions to get some magical results and some fancy outcomes out of our code. So let's start with the basics you have to know about regular expression. To do that, I want to go to a website called regexer.com. This is a fantastic website to learn, practice, and work with regular expressions. So for us to understand what regular expression is, it's very easy to work with and enjoy this free website. First of all, I close this flags part. I want a clean screen and I want to get rid of everything here. And I can say, this is a test from Ali Reza. I don't want this guy. I completely get rid of it because I want to write everything from scratch. As you can see, you have two parts. You have expression and text. So here you can write a regular expression and here is a text you want to examine. So here, if I just come here and I type Ali Reza, it will find Ali Reza and say, yay, I found a match. Now I want to add a second line to it. I am Ali Reza and I am awesome. Sounds a bit narcissistic, but who cares? As you can see, when I use Ali Reza, it finds both matches of Ali Reza. So basically, it's very much like a search. So you type something, it looks it up. By the way, if I just type Ali Reza with capital A, it doesn't find it. If I change one of them to capital A, it finds only that one. So by default, regular expression is case sensitive. But regardless, if I'm looking for something, it finds it everywhere. So if this one is Ali Reza, it finds both of them. So at the moment, we didn't really write patterns. We just wrote something, and this guy, just like a plain text search, tried to look and find the text, which is okay, but regular expression can do a lot more. There are two things that I want to cover here. Let's start with these two signs, the caret sign and the dollar sign. If here, right in the beginning of the string, I just put a caret sign, you will not find anything in this string. The caret sign means that we are looking for this right in the beginning of this string. So if I replace Ali Reza with this, it is fine. And if I add another this somewhere else, it doesn't find it even if I match the casing. Keep that in mind. This caret sign means we are looking for this pattern right in the beginning of the entire string. The dollar sign, you guessed it, it means I'm looking for this in the end of the string. So this will not find it, but if I look for awesome, it will find it in the end of the string. So it looks for a match in the end. Ali, we are not supposed to write regular expressions. I know, we are not doing that. Just remember these two things. Now we need to know about expression flags. When we talk about expression flags, they are here. If you want to know about them, you can click on this question mark and it's going to explain everything for you. Who cares? We don't need all of them. There's only one of them which is actually important, which is case insensitive. All right, this is cool. If I come here and I search for Ali Reza, it will not find it. But if I use this I flag and I say case insensitive, it will look for it regardless of uppercase or lowercase. Fantastic. And the second one that I want you to pay attention to is the global. Global flag means it's looking for all the instances that match. If I turn that global off, it will find only the first one and say, yes, I found it. I don't care about the rest. While if you look for global, it will look for the match in the entire string. Now, why am I talking about these things? The only thing is that when we are talking about expression flags, which is global and case insensitive, these two are important when we are working in PowerApps. They are not part of the regular expression itself. They stay outside of it. So when we want to write regular expression, // this is how the JavaScript developers specify that this is our regular expression. The caret sign says only find this match in the beginning of the string. $sign says look for it in the end of the string, and the flags are not part of your regular expression. They just stay somewhere outside. You cannot embed them inside the regular expression. Okay, we got it. Fine. Let's continue now. Let's start with PowerApps and use IsMatch in the easiest form. IsMatch accepts a text and a pattern to match. Now, when we say IsMatch, it's trying to match the entire string from beginning to end, which means by default, whatever the expression you write, automatically it adds the caret in the beginning and the $sign in the end. You don't need to add it. And considering that it is PowerApps and things are supposed to be very easy, if you want to look for email match, I can simply put a sample email and Microsoft gives me something nice and clean called match.email, which inside it has a predefined string that matches the email and returns it back to us. This is fantastic. Let's do it. Inside PowerApps, I created a simple app. And inside this app, I put a text input and a text label here. So if I type something here, I want to write an expression here to see if it is valid or not. And the first one, I want to check it for email. So let's try this one. I would say IsMatch txt text to examine.text. So basically whatever that is inside it, comma. And I would say look for match.email. And I close the bracket. How cool is that? I save it and I run it. Whatever I type here, it says it's false unless it somehow looks like an email. So all of a sudden it says it's happy. Great. So for some of the items, Microsoft gives us something like this. So let me just double click on it and you see inside it, there is a string that is supposed to be a regular expression. It says any combination of characters after that @ sign, any combination with a required dot and anything after that. Okay, fine, we're good. I really don't want to get into the details, but let's use the same thing inside our regexer. To do that, I want to insert a text label maybe here. And for this text label, I want to put the string of match.email. It's a little bit too small. Let me make it bigger. Too big, sorry. So this is a string that I got as a regular expression to validate email directly provided by Microsoft. Let me bring it back to regexer stick it here and see what we get out of it. All right, doesn't find anything because we don't have an email. But what if I come here and I say test@test.com? Okay, hold on a second. It matches everything. Yes, sure, because we are looking for an email to validate, and it found that email somewhere in between, and I'd say, yes, I found it. And of course, if I, for example, remove this dot, it complains that it doesn't look like email. Or if I go in the beginning and I remove the first part of it, it doesn't match it. So it says it is not the match. But to make sure that something like this, and in the beginning with some nonsense stuff, and in the end with some other nonsense stuff, does not match the whole thing, in general, we come here and we say, match it from the beginning to the end. If I just cut the beginning and I just cut the end, it is happy. So we kind of learned why we have these signs here. And as I told you, when you are using the IsMatch, it checks the entire thing. So you really don't need to put a caret sign and a dollar sign in the beginning and end. But how good is it? Does it really validate? Let's try and see. This is not a valid email. Oops. Is this a valid email? I don't think so. Let's say put Alireza here, and let's start the domain name with dot. And no, it is obviously not a valid email, but it kind of says it's true, it's valid because it matches this style. Hold on a second, Microsoft. There is something wrong with you. No, Microsoft is right. We are wrong here. Microsoft clearly says it is IsMatch. It doesn't say is valid. It is designed to find a match for you, something that matches it, but it doesn't mean it's necessarily valid. It just matches a pattern. But what if we ask ChatGPT, does it give us something better that we can use instead of what comes out of Microsoft? So we tried ChatGPT 4 simply because ChatGPT 3.5 sucks. At least when it comes to regular expression. Trust me, I've gone through so many rabbit holes that I looked at it and I was like, ChatGPT, seriously? But 4 is reasonably okay. So let's ChatGPT 4, and I asked this guy to create a regular expression to validate an email. This is the one that this guy gave to me initially as a part of Python code, and I said, you know what, just give me the clean code. So this is the regular expression that I got from ChatGPT. So inside ChatGPT, the first thing that everybody looks at it, let's click on copy code. Don't. First, read the explanation. And here, this poor guy clearly says, keep in mind that this is a basic pattern and may not cover all the valid email addresses, but it should work for most common formats. All right, let's say we want to get and use it inside IsMatch. Now you know that we don't need this caret sign and we don't need this dollar sign in the end. So we just need this part in the beginning. So if I just copy this and I bring it here, instead of this email that I have here, I can simply put the string that I got from ChatGPT. Surprisingly, even this guy is not too smart to understand that this is not a valid email. If I put 2 dots, it doesn't care. Looks a little bit more complicated. Let's say if I start the email address with dot, still it doesn't care. Only if I remove this one, it cares. So although it looks a little bit better than Microsoft and may exclude some illegal characters in the email, it doesn't really validate properly. And this is why quite often, even something like ChatGPT doesn't give you what you're looking for, and you need to go back to the work that others have done. So naturally, I go to Google and search for regular expression to validate email. The first link that I get gives me something extremely weird, but who cares? I just open it. Now, keep that in mind. 90% of the regular expressions that you will find on the internet is coming from JavaScript developers. These guys were living and breathing regular expressions. So if I scroll down, you will see there are lots of things that these guys they looked into, but most of the time you will find your regular expression as a part of JavaScript. Let me scroll down here and you will see that this is what I got here. Now, the JavaScript syntax. For JavaScript, when you want to write a regular expression, you enclose it between 2 forward slashes. Looks familiar, right? Here, forward slash, forward slash. All right. After that, if you're using IsMatch, you don't need the caret sign and you don't need this dollar sign. So let's get anything that comes between them. Copy, and I bring this guy to my app. I come back here, and this time I get rid of whatever I got from ChatGPT 4. I stick this guy here. All right, let's save it and test it. Okay, I come here and I say test. It says it's true. I remove the domain name. It says false. I start the domain name with dot and I say test. It says it's false. Fantastic. This is better. Let me remove this. I put 2 dots in a row. It says it's not right. So basically, quite often when you're looking for regular expression for validation, not just to find a match. For find a match, it can be very forgiving. So if you're looking to find, for example, something that looks like email, ChatGPT does a fantastic job for you, giving you those expressions. But if you really want to validate with some complex logic, there is a good chance that you need to go to Google, search, and most of the time you get into some resources from JavaScript developers. And to successfully steal the regular expression, you ignore the first and the last 2 characters because they are JavaScript specific syntax and they define the beginning and the end of the string. We don't need that here. We can try the same thing, for example, with credit card number. So if we go to ChatGPT, I would say, please write a regular expression that validates credit card number with hyphen or space as separator. And I just push enter. This guy hopefully generates something. And if I come here, you will see the JavaScript code this time. And again, this is the beginning. So you can simply ignore it and you can go to the end and you will see this is the end. That again, you can ignore the last 2 characters because it's coming from JavaScript. I copy that. I bring it back here. So let's try it this time again. So instead of email, I change it to credit card number. And for the regular expression that I have here, I replace it with the one that I just got from JavaScript source in ChatGPT. So let me just get rid of the first 2 characters and the last 2 characters because we don't need them here. I just save it and I run it. So for this one, if I say 4455 space 1144 space 6655 space 4474, it's a valid credit card number. If I use hyphen as separator, it doesn't like it. But let's see if I put all of them as hyphen, it is happy. This is great. But if I don't put separator at all, it is happy again. Great. So for lots of cases, ChatGPT does a decent job. Now, if you really wanted to write it yourself, you are supposed to consider that there are 4 sections of the credit card number. Each one of them has 4 digits and they are separated by the hyphen. And you were supposed to put the formula together. But who cares when machine can do it for us? Why should we bother? Now, this is the last example of this video. I'm giving this statement to ChatGPT to generate a validation rule for the email address XYZ. I give it to ChatGPT and I run it. Always be polite when you're talking to ChatGPT. Okay, this time again, it generated it with JavaScript, which is great, but with one tiny issue. If I copy this here and I bring it back to PowerApps, I say, again, this is for email, and instead of this regular expression, I get something that I got it from ChatGPT, remove the first 2 characters and the last 2 ones, so it is nice and clean. I can simply run this, and let's say ABCD @XYZ.CA, which is great, but if instead of CA I put CA, it's not going to be happy. And sorry, ChatGPT, email address is valid if the cases don't match. Still, that's exactly the same domain. So come on, you could do better. I can say, assume the domain name is not case sensitive. Rewrite the code. So this is great. This is what we got from ChatGPT now, but it just added I in the end. exactly the same way that we could add I in the end, but it is not inside the regular expression. It's a directive, it's a flag that we define outside. You can simply ask ChatGPT to generate this one for PowerApps and it gives you the solution. But it happens quite often that you don't get it from ChatGPT, you get it from some unknown sources on the internet and you want to utilize it, and most of those codes are JavaScript as you see here. So in this case, we got the regular expression pattern, but we need to have this flag. To do that, inside PowerApps, you cannot add it directly here, but instead, the IsMatch has the third parameter that they say it's extend, but inside PowerApps, there are some enum types called match options. And the match option for this one, you guessed it, ignore case. And ignore case does exactly the same thing. If you go to the PowerApps help, you will see that when we say ignore case, it just adds the I modifier. So now, if I run this guy, it accepts xyz.ca with capital A and with lowercase. If I replace z with capital Z, we are good. So we learned how we can utilize ChatGPT or how we can go to online resources and steal the code from JavaScript developers that they have done all these great regular expressions for us and bring it inside PowerApps. Now, that was it for this video. And at the moment, if you're thinking, Ali, what happened to the global thingy that you said it's kind of important? Sure, I'm done for this video, but I'm not with this topic. There are still two important functions. One of them is called match. The other one is MatchAll, that we will talk about it in the next week video. And as soon as it's out, I will put the link right here. All right. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you know where the like button is. And if today is the day that I can earn you as a subscriber, I really appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Get back to work. You have a project to deliver. See you in the next video.